Okay. Can you hear me? Just so everyone knows, there's been a lot of comments about videos, about having Dr. Mike. I like that. You've been anointed Dr. Mike speaking at convention, and we have every intention of producing. Can everyone hear me? Okay. We have every intention of producing quality video content with Mike explaining this R&D process, going into a deep dive on the analytical chemistry itself. And he will speak at convention. Are you ready for that?
Absolutely.
Over 20,000 people.
We want to do a video with a tour of the labs so we can actually see this equipment.
Exactly. And I also wanted to note that the reason he left a big pharmaceutical company like GSK is, like many of us who came from different industries, he wanted to make a difference and he wanted to deal with real natural products. We pulled him from New Jersey, kicking and screaming with the headhunter, to be a part of our company and to lead our R&D department and product development and management department into the next $2 and $3 and $4 billion. We won't deviate from our standards, and we'll also produce a video with Walter explaining some of the kind of back end of our seed to seal story as he's over the operations, which involves all the logistics related to getting these oils to you. And so, Walter, without further ado, let's talk about that.
Do I do anything on my volume? No. I don't turn my volume on? Can everybody hear me? All right, cool. All right, so the reason they wanted me to talk after Mike is to make him look smarter. Which is that?
You got your work cut out for you.
So here it goes. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to spend a minute and talk a little bit about what it really takes to get some of these products to all the way through to you guys. Because if you think about the process, we talk about seed to seal, and but we actually, if we look at operations and the rest of the teams in the company, we don't just, it's not a logo or a slogan to us. It's literally what we have to live every single day. Sometimes it's not fun. Sometimes it's actually pretty painful to live this way. And you actually see the results of that, because one of the things that you're getting at times is you're getting products that are out of stock. And the reason a lot of times those products are out of stock is specific to our seed to seal story. It's the reason it happens. It's definitely not something we like. It frustrates the heck out of us, but there's a good reason for it. So I kind of want to start from the beginning. We work with partner farms, and there are a lot of people in this world that pretend, or not even pretend, a lot of people provide essential oils. There are a lot of companies, a lot of farms that will provide essential oils and that approach us on a regular basis. I probably get one email a day from somebody, some random company in India or in China or Argentina or in Colombia or somewhere else, these companies and these farms, and they want to do business with us. They want to sell products to us. And we don't answer their emails. And the reason we don't do that is because we have partners we've been working with for many, many years. So that when we talk, for instance, Mary and I were talking yesterday about some of the farms we work with. And we've been working with these people. We've known them for, some of them for 20 years. We've been working together very closely, and they know what our expectations are. They tell us when we meet together, we know what your expectations are. We know what you guys will buy and what you will send back. And so they're very careful not to send us stuff that we're going to send back. And we will send it back. It depends on, if you look at the plants, there's a lot of variance on where they come from. It's the geography of the plant. So for instance, a lemon oil, you can get a really good cheap lemon oil from Argentina. There's a lot of lemons down there. But we don't buy lemon oil from Argentina because it's not good lemon oil. You can get a lot of our products from different places. In fact, some of the very rare oils that are very hard for us to get, there are other varieties that are very close to those oils, those plants. And what we do is we beg Gary and we say, hey, we're running low on this oil. There's this other plant that we see that's close. What do you think? And the answer every single time is, no, we're not going to do that. And so what you see out of stock. It's the way our lives go. When Jared talked a little earlier about blue tansy, I can give you a couple of examples on blue tansy, for instance, just one of the oils. At the beginning of the season this year, and this was in, when was it? August, maybe before August, something like that. We got a lot of blue tansy, a bunch of blue tansy, and I don't know how many kilograms, but it was enough for us to go in stock of Peace and Calming and Valor and stay in stock for a while. And we were pretty excited about it. We didn't tell anybody about it. We didn't announce it because we knew with the way we do things, you just never know if it passes or it doesn't pass. So we got the product in, we gave it to our QA lab, and they rejected it. And the lab came back and said, unfortunately, the issue you're having with your product is that it's been cut too early, and so it didn't meet the standards that we had, and so for that reason we rejected that blue tansy. We didn't go in stock for 2 months. Then at the end of the season, we had enough blue tansy to extend us for another month with Peace and Calming and Valor. That product had some other plants in it. It had some other plant materials. It was like a weed that was mixed in. It was a very small percentage of the plant of the oil. And we looked at it, and operational guys, we looked at it and said, well, it's a little bit, it should be okay, right? Why can't we just pass this? QA rejected it. We actually sent it to Gary and said, hey, can you just tell us what you think? And Gary rejected it and said, no, it doesn't follow our standards. We're not selling that product. So we went out of stock on Peace and Calming and Valor, and we're still out of stock because of that. And that's because we live seed to seal. We do that every single day. When we get a product from our partner farms, first of all, what they do is a lot of them have testing equipment. They actually test it before they get it to us because they know that we're going to reject it if it doesn't pass. If we're just going to send it back, we're going to say, thanks for playing, you get it back. So that's the first part. Second part is that we air freight all oils to our Spanish Fork location. We don't put them by water container. Everything goes air freight, which is super, super expensive. But it's hundreds of thousands of kilograms of raw material, of oil, that gets air freighted directly to our Spanish Fork location. It goes into the docks, and it stays in receiving until it's accepted by QA. And if it doesn't get accepted, it gets sent back to the vendor. And we send back thousands of kilograms of oil back to our vendors. Many, many lots go back to our vendors if it doesn't pass QA. And that's it's unfortunate. We don't like it. A lot of times it creates stockouts. Then it goes into the warehouse and it goes into blending. Now, blending is an interesting process because if we look at our blending process, there's the natural oils where it's just the pure oil. And then on top of that, you also have blends where we do things like these and other products like that. There's a process. First of all, if it's just an oil, let's say cinnamon bark. Cinnamon bark goes from one container to another stainless container that's made for filling, and that's the only thing that happens to that product. We have bill of materials that we use for inside of our ERP system, and that product is only that product. There's nothing else that goes in it. It's clear. Everybody knows that. It's the way it works, the way the system runs. If it's a blend, what happens is there's a process of making that blend. It's like a recipe. It's like cooking. And there's so much of this that goes in and so much that goes in, but it all has to be done in the right order and it has to be the right amounts. Now, to give you an example, if you go back to our laundry detergent, if you remember, just after convention, we went and set it out for a few days. Well, that sounds like a simple thing, but that happens every single day. And the reason that one didn't go out is because we made a batch of the oil that was going to go to the manufacturer, and we put too much of one of the materials in it, of one of the oils inside of the blend that was going to go to the manufacturer. Now, the easy way to solve that is everything is proportional, right? So you take a proportion, you have this percentage of this oil, this percentage of this oil. But unfortunately, the way we do things is everything has to be done in the right order. So because you can't go in and just start blending other things in there, we literally rejected that lot and we didn't sell that oil. It cost us a huge amount of money. It created stockouts. We had to double ship things. It cost us hundreds of thousands of dollars in shipping and raw materials, a lot of things. We never told you guys about it, but it's just the way we do things. It's the way we live. We do this all the way along the process. We fill the oils inside the bottles. Once we fill the oils inside the bottles, guess what? They go back through QA, and the QA lab tests it all again, and then they have to pass it. And once it passes, then it can be sold. So there's an entire process that we use all the way through. I'll give you another example. Everything that's blended, when we blend something and send it out to manufacture, so for instance, a laundry detergent or a shampoo or something like that, we have other vendors that help us fill because we don't have all the equipment, and so they help us do it. And we have so much volume and stuff. I mean, potentially millions of units of something that gets made. We don't have all the equipment. We've got only so many people in manufacturing. We send it to that manufacturer to fill that product. What they do is they have QA labs. Ningxia Red is a great example. There's a company just down the street from us. It's a great company, and they have an unbelievable analytical lab. They're great at doing testing. And when they finish Ningxia Red, they get our oil from us. They blend it all together with the puree that we send them and all the ingredients that we send them. They put it all together. They mix it. They fill it. They do hot fill. It comes out. They have a finished good, a bottle, and they go through and they run it through their testing and through their lab. They make sure that it follows all the ingredient panel claims that it's supposed to have. Once they have finished testing it, it comes to us. And guess what? We test it. We don't just take their lab results and accept that and say that's good enough. We go through it again and we test it once again. So that oil, for instance, to give you an example, that thieves oil that came in, or that oil that might be in Ningxia Red, that oil has been tested when we buy the farm. It got tested by us when it went through receiving in our warehouse. It got tested by the manufacturer once it's been blended, and it gets tested again by us once we receive it. So it's 4 times that product has been tested. And if we see differences between the test results, then obviously we're going to look at it and say there's a problem. So when you kind of look at seed to sale, one of the things that we do in our groups is we have, for instance, we have the QA team. The QA team reports up differently. They actually report up through legal. So we have, in operations, we have no control over what QA passes or doesn't pass. If QA says it doesn't pass, then unfortunately it doesn't pass and we can't sell that product. And we try to keep that separated all throughout the processes in our company so that we have honesty and integrity in the way we handle our products. So I just kind of wanted to give you that idea. When you guys come to convention, we've got our warehouse has been expanded. And on June 1st, we're actually going to get our certificate from the city to be able to start moving stuff around. And it's still going to be a little bit of a construction mess, I'm guessing. I don't know, who knows. But you'll be able to see the expanded facilities. You'll be able to see the new manufacturing facility, which is 4 times the size that it is today. We have new equipment coming in. We've got new water purification systems. We've got a new lab that's huge. It's really, really exciting. So, spend your time, come in and look at our warehouse and see what we do and ask questions. And I think you'll be impressed.
They want to see both you and Dr. Mike on stage at convention.
I know, because I need to make Mike look smarter. I know. That's why
a good piece of time to discuss that. I think just even listening to that, I think everyone around the room here, there's a lot of people in this room here will agree that this is why Living is the best, the pioneer, and the best, essential company in the market.